Referee Johnny Grier tell us offsides against Cleveland.
Offside, 56 seconds. First down.
David Grayson a little too anxious.
Well, David Grayson gets the call, but it's really Carl Heston, the right defensive end, who falls in. He takes Grayson with him, and when they throw the flag, it's really encroachment because they didn't touch anybody rather than offside. The call goes against Grayson, and it's a first down for Philadelphia.
No contact. The ball moved out to the 48. So Cunningham and company with another first down. Garrity in motion. Cunningham over the middle, in and out of the hands of Jackson. Incomplete, and he was leveled by Eddie Johnson. Unable to hold on. You see that mask that Cunningham is wearing. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Here's a simple dump off. You saw this Monday night when they played the Giants, and they've been featuring 88 tight end Keith Jackson, a rookie, all year long. Passes a little high, but watch the shot by 51 Eddie Johnson. With him is 59 Mike Johnson. But the thing to remember is there's a little bit of uncertainty coming into this game about Keith Jackson and whether he would play today or not, but he's out there starting.
He looked a little tentative in pregame practice. Second down and 10. Keith fires through a pile and into Cleveland territory at about the 49. So it'll bring up third down. Randall Cunningham, wearing that plastic shield over the upper part of his face mask, went to that last week. One of the Philadelphia Eagles got a finger in the eye, and there have been problems like that. Charles White of the Rams has gone to a tinted mask. Cunningham really can't have the tint playing quarterback, but he's gone to the clear plastic in an effort to keep those rushing linemen's fingers out of his eye. Third down and 7. Nickel package in, and the blitz on for Cleveland. They have Cunningham at the 45. Clay Matthews coming from the right side. Falls down the elusive Randall Cunningham, and it's fourth down.
Clay Matthews, number 57, is their best pass rusher. High snap, middle error. Matt Dow, the tackle, can't turn fast enough to pick up the faster linebacker. That's the 26th sack of the year given up by the Philadelphia offensive line. Number 1 in the league, I believe. And this is where the Browns thought they were vulnerable. If they could get Cunningham in a certain passing situation, give them different looks, and try to have their offensive line make some middle errors.
John Telchik punting it away to little Gerald McNeil, who takes it to the 17. And out of bounds at around the 26. A 38-yard punt. So no score with 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Too many people think a spark plug's a spark plug. Well, all spark plugs aren't alike. These AC copper core plugs match my car's specs like rounds in a chamber, firing up to 30 times a second for up to 30,000 miles of high revving firepower.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Keep your car running the way it was made to run.
Now get up to $8.80 back on AC filters and plugs. See your retailer for details.
At Prudential Bates, rock solid means more than strength and stability. It's having the resources to develop and deliver individualized investment ideas. Market-wise means the insight and capability that helps clients find opportunities no matter what the investment climate. If anyone can get your strategy right on target right now, that's it. It's Prudential Bates Securities, rock solid, market-wise.
A contrast in quarterbacks today, because when Randall Cunningham and Don Strock are on the field, it's interesting to note these differences. And of course, the 5 seconds plus is being a little generous, I think, to Don on the 40-yard dash. When Don Strock was originally drafted in the NFL, Randall Cunningham was in the 4th grade. That tells you something about the difference. And of course, you can see there's a great disparity in all of these numbers, but there's one number in which they're both pretty equal. And that has to do with the game of golf. Now, most guys sandbag. I think, Will, they're both tailing a fifth there.
Oh, athletes love to enhance it a little bit.
They both love to play golf. And Strzok gives it off to Mack. And Biner it is. And Ernest Biner is across the 30 to about the 31 before Mike Pitts, number 74, brings him down. Biner and Mack, two very versatile backs in the backfield, and give Cleveland that extra dimension as both are used extensively as pass receivers. Biner, in fact, the leading receiver on the Browns at this point. Schottenheimer's had to hold things together with baling wire and chewing gum as far as the offense is concerned. Second down and 5. Kevin Mack trying to find a hole and squirts through and gets close to the first down. He made a hole where there wasn't any.
Well, Don Strzok is out there today wearing a wristband, Steve, because he really is not that familiar with the Cleveland Brown offensive system. And that's a little bit what it would look like right there. What they do is Cleveland sends in the plays with their wide receiver, either Brian Brennan or Reggie Langhorne. And today what they do, they simply go into Strzok and say a number, like 25. And he looks at his wristband and he probably says, okay, here's what it sounds like. 2F, slide pass 37, Z bin. And they know what it's all about, even if we don't.
And all they have to do is bring in one number, which simplifies everything. Two tight ends on third down and 1. Tim Manoa close to the first down, and it looks like he has it as it gets to about the 43, or rather the 38, but there is a flag down on the field. It was thrown in the Philadelphia secondary.
Cleveland players are waving it's on Philadelphia. No, they get back to
Illegal substitution, 12-man defense. First down.
No wonder they're good on defense.
An extra green shirt on the field, so it'll be a first down anyway.
Would you call that a mental error?
Yes.
Anyhow, get back to Strzok's little wristband here where he has the plays. You know, they run him in. And last week when he had to go in a hurry, the guys, some of the receivers would run in, they'd be so tired, and they'd be so, he couldn't understand what they were saying. So this week, they make it simple. They run and just say a number to him, and then he looks at the corresponding number on his pad and calls the play himself.
Biner trying to get outside, and he does. First down Cleveland before he's bumped out of bounds by Todd Bell. But another penalty flag is thrown, and it may have been thrown after Biner was knocked out of bounds. It may be a personal foul tacked on here, as it appears to be against Philadelphia again. It is.
Johnny Greer telling him one of the Eagles got a little aggressive, and once the runner went out of bounds, he gave him another shot. You know, once you get on that chalk and the out of bounds,
Can't touch it.
well, Philadelphia's an aggressive team. They're right there with Houston for most penalties in the league, and they are intimidating. They are physical. You know, Ozzie Newsome, the great tight end of the Browns, was telling us yesterday he thinks this Philadelphia Eagle team on defense in time, because they're so young now, could be as good as like the Pittsburgh Steelers great teams were. The Steel Curtain back in the 70s when they won. But they play a physical, intimidating game.
And the 80s have not been the era of dominating defense, as was the 70s. Tim Manoa straight ahead and not much happening. As Cleveland, with the benefit of Biner's run and the tacked on 15-yard penalty, is now down to the 31-yard line of Philadelphia. Mike Pitts again on the tackle, number 74. We have 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and there is no score.
The Browns look like Ohio State. 3 yards in a cloud of dust right here, running everything off tackle, bouncing it outside, nothing fancy.
That's been the game plan, and as you can tell, last week, the first time in 19 games that they had not won when rushing for over 160 yards. Right now, they have 89 on the ground already. Not much happening for Ernest Biner as he gets inside the 30. Reichenbach on the tackle. 19 games, well, 18 straight really, in which the Browns rushed for over 100 yards. They won. Until last week against Seattle, they had 160 yards, and they lost.
And I talked to Chuck Knox on Friday, the Seattle coach, and said, you know, I'm going to do the Browns game this weekend. What can you tell me about the Browns? He said, want to know how we beat them? I got the rookie quarterback, Kelly Stouffer. He's only played a couple of games. I said to him before the game, listen, Stouffer, Here's your job. Don't lose the game for me. You understand that? Don't make any mistakes. And basically, that's what the Browns want Strock to do today. Don't lose the game for us. Just keep us in the game.
Consequently, short passes and running. 3rd and long, and it's complete to Garrity. Down inside the 15-yard line. Brian Brennan on the reception. And Eric Allen made the tackle as Brennan broke free after catching the pass and picked up another 10 yards.
This is an outstanding play for Cleveland. Strock in the shotgun. He'll go right to his left looking for Brennan. There is good coverage on Brennan, who runs a little hook. Watch this. But the ball is thrown to the outside, allowing them to get away from the defender. Watch the nice little move by Brennan. A guy that doesn't have great speed, but he has great hands.
And what's happening with Reggie White, number 92?
He's pushing Cody Reason right back into the left, trying to break down the pocket. That's what he said he was going to do today. Try to push everybody in the pocket right in front of Strock.
Brennan goes inside, or rather, Biner goes inside the 10-yard line to about the 9. Seth Joyner made the tackle for Philadelphia. Short passes and concentrate on the running game. That was the Cleveland game plan, and so far, Will, it's working. They had to have the interception on their first possession deep in Philadelphia territory, but now they are down again at the 10-yard line and have a 2nd down and 8.
And this game's flying. You know, we're 9 minutes of the game have gone by already. They've kept it on the ground. They want to keep the ball out of Randall Cunningham's hands. This is the way to do it. Control it yourself.
Philadelphia has only had 1 possession, and they had to punt as Cunningham was sacked. Tim Manoa breaking a tackle and spinning down to the 6-yard line. In the grasp of Todd Bell and Roynell Young, number 43 in the secondary.
I just have the feeling, Steve, here someplace that Cleveland's going to run a reverse, going to run a counter, because the Eagles are just pursuing now. They're just flying right to the ball. They just go right down the line of the scrimmage, and you have to do something to slow that down. So far, Cleveland has just been running very basic plays. They hand it to the back. They let the back read either the linebacker or the nose tackle, try to make a cut one way or another. They haven't really done anything fancy here yet.
Well, they're spreading out the defense with 4 wide receivers, and Philadelphia answers with the nickel defense from the shotgun. Strock swinging it out, overthrows, almost picked off. Coming up quickly was Roynell Young, who had a chance for the interception. The pass intended for Biner, but it'll be 4th down, and the field goal unit will come on for Cleveland.
Just before this snap, Strock was pointing to one of his backs at a linebacker as if to say, now watch him, but very bad pass. Almost throws it right into the hands of cornerback Roynell Young. Biner looked as though he didn't even think the play was for him, like he was a decoy. There's Roynell so shaken up. He said, listen, I could have had that ball. I get to the end zone right now, 90 yards away, and I let it get away from me.
Matt Barr, who's 11 of 13 this year, will attempt one from the 14. It'll be a 24-yard attempt. Max Runeker's hold, and the kick is good. 4 minutes and 42 seconds is all that remains in the first quarter, and Cleveland leads now 3-0.
You can ride with the wind when you're one with the road. You can feel every move. You're in control. It's the new spirit. Gotta be the spirit of Dodge. It's the new spirit. The new spirit of Dodge. The new spirit of Dodge.
Twilight, the time when families come together. And now, Bob Evans makes it even nicer with a dozen brand new family dinners the kind Mom used to make. And 7 of them are less than $5. So come sunset, stop by and see Bob Evans in a whole new light.
Just a few smiles from home.
Meatloaf, just one of the 7 Bob Evans dinners you can get for under $5.
You know, when I played football, people said I was one tough player. But I not only outmuscled the other guy, I outsmarted him. I used my head. And a guy like me enjoys drinking Miller Lite, because Light's the less filling beer that tastes great. But the best thing about Miller Lite is that it shows a tough guy like me can still use his head.
Well, how's that, Gary?
You hit it right on the head. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
They refer to the seats in the end zone here as the dog pound, but really you could call the entire group of Cleveland fans, no matter where they're sitting, the dog pound, and they eat it up. It used to be the worst ticket in the entire stadium. Now they sell season tickets there, and they wear those masks and get into it no matter where they're sitting. Matt Barr kicks off. Sean Beals is back deep to receive, and he takes it 1 yard deep and elects to down it, although he had almost 20 yards of clear sailing when he received the football. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for Philadelphia's second possession. Cleveland leading 3-0. Well, there are 3 guys on the Eagles, including Keith Byers, who are from Ohio and are coming back. Chris Carter and Todd Bell went to the same high school, and Carter, Bell, and Byers all went to Ohio State. So they had 200 people come on a few buses from Middletown, Ohio, and Byers, Carter, and Bell were scrounging for every ticket they could get to get those people in here because this game is sold out. Tony, not much running room. Eddie Johnson, number 51, the first to hit him. He falls forward for a gain of about 3 to the 23. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Well, those friends of the Buckeyes couldn't have picked a nicer day. I was talking to Bernie Kosar on the field before the game. He says this is as nice as any day he's seen in this stadium to play football since he's been here. Normally there's a lot of wind. There's hardly any wind in this field. The perfect day to throw the ball for both quarterbacks.
It's unbelievable. Indian summer has really arrived, and as I mentioned in the opening, 2 nights ago, the low was 28 here. 73 at game time, and Cunningham doing his thing. Very near a 1st down as he falls out across the 30. Eddie Johnson bumped him out of bounds. Now let's go to New York, the NFL Today, and Brent Musburger for this update.
Well, Stephen, Will, you flashed the score, and here's the touchdown. The Cardinals leading the Washington Redskins by 7 points. Lomax continues to have the hot hand right now. 7-0 Cardinals. Let's go back to Stephen Will.
Thanks, Brent. Neil Lomax really likes to air it out. Quoted in the paper the other day as saying he likes to throw long every down.
Well, this is a game the Philadelphia fans really got their eye on, besides watching this game on television. You know, the Eagles win here today, and Washington knocks off Phoenix, then the Eagles are right there at the top.
On 3rd and about a half a yard. It appears as if Philadelphia has the 1st down.
Watch the drive of center. Dave Remington, number 50, coming out of nose tackle Bob Golick. Gets a good block in there, gets under the center of gravity of Golick and tries to stand him up. Enough room for Cunningham to lunge forward and get the 1st down.
Dave Remington at 6'3", 290 pounds. So little Randall can tuck in right behind there and do nicely most of the time. 1st and 10, Cleveland at their own 30, or rather Philadelphia at their own 31. With protection for Cunningham, and he hits Tony. Tony ahead to about the 38 before he's wrapped up again by Eddie Johnson.
Yeah, you were talking about Remington, and we showed him on that short yardage situation. He came over here from Cincinnati. Buddy Ryan said it might be the best deal he ever made because he didn't have to give up anything. You know, he drafts a Cunningham or a Jackson, one of these great, but he had to give up the draft choice. Cincinnati just let him go. He come in here, and Randall Cunningham has a little deal where he calls it a scholarship. He gives his offensive lineman $1,000 for the guy who plays the best game. And his first game here, Remington won the $1,000. It's a nice way to start.
Yes, and Ryan even more pleased to have him. Keith Byers gets away from Johnson. A flag goes down as the tackle is made near the line of scrimmage at the 38. David Grayson finally corralling Byers, but it's holding against Philadelphia. You saw that graphic earlier where the Eagles have managed only 33 yards of offense so far, and penalties have really hurt them. Now it'll be when they are on offense.
Holding. 68 offense. Still 2nd down.
So the call goes against Reggie Singletary. The ball will be moved back inside the 30.
Here's a replay. Byers wants to try to get outside. Clay Matthews does a good job. Here comes the pursuit. There's Mike Johnson, turns the play back inside. There's the flag. There's the penalty.
Singletary holding Clay Matthews rather obviously. Flags fly again, and Randall Cunningham dropped near the 20. It was already 2nd and 13, and Cunningham on the sack will lose yardage, but we'll see who the penalty is again.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is going to be on Cleveland, and I think what Randall did here, a smart young quarterback, went to what they call a hard count, used his voice, again for the 2nd time in the game, pulled the defensive lineman of Cleveland into the zone. Again, I think it's Carl Hairston. Let's take a look at it. Watch them jump. There it is. Ball's in 78, but the ball is snapped while he's encroachment. Cunningham again is going to take his time. He knows he's got a free play, but even with that, he doesn't have the time to get the ball away.
So the penalty moves the ball to the 33, where it is now 2nd down and 8. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Cleveland leading 3-0. Chris Carter in motion, and Keith fires on a sprint draw, hammered as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Michael Dean Perry, the little brother of the Fridge, one of the first to hit him. And you know that Michael Dean is the little brother because he only weighs 280.
There's David Grayson there, number 56. He's the fastest guy on the Cleveland defense. He can run a 4.4. Randall Cunningham was telling us last night he anticipates that 56 Grayson is going to be what they call a spy. In a situation like this where Cunningham has to pass or might pass, Grayson is the guy that hangs around and tries to track Cunningham down if he gets out and starts to run.
Now preliminary movement and illegal procedure against Philadelphia. So back and forth we go. It was 3rd down and 7. And that is the 4th penalty against the Eagles for a total of 35 yards. And we're still in the first quarter.
Offense. Still 3rd down.
I think Randall got his own side that time. He gave it the head bob, but it looked like his right guard and tackle just backed up into the backfield and drew everybody else offside.
Steve Zabriskie along with Will McDonough bringing you the NFL on CBS from Cleveland Stadium in Cleveland. The interconference battle today between Philadelphia and the Browns, both 3-3, and each team looking to hang on and even make headway within their respective division. 3rd down and 13. It's complete to Chris Carter, and it should be enough for a first down. Felix Wright, the safety, was right there, but had no chance as Carter made a diving reception at the 43, just enough for a Philadelphia first down.
Hanford Dixon, the great defensive back of the Browns and All-Pro, was saying yesterday, the tough thing about playing against Cunningham, he has such a strong arm. He cuts down your recovery time when you're a cornerback. From the time you stop, the receiver makes his break, you don't have as much time to get there as the normal passer.
The ball is zipped right in there. Pitch to Tony, who tries to cut back. But gets pulled back as he reaches the line of scrimmage. Carl Hairston, number 78, right there. So time is running down, and the end of the first quarter is upon us here in Cleveland with the score. The Cleveland Browns 3, Philadelphia 0.
At UPS, we're changing the face of the international delivery business. Because now, UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge. And let's face it, a drachma saved is a drachma earned. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
You can ride with the wind when you're one with the road. You can feel every move, you're in control. Just a touch of the wheel, and the power is yours. It's the look and the feel, the one that's for real.
find it at the heart of every car and truck we build. And you'll find it in yourself every time you take the wheel. It's the new spirit of performance. It's the new spirit of Dodge.
The Rams fired up behind sharpshooter Everett and jumping for joy. The Niners out to reclaim the West. The showdown next.
Starting the second quarter, Cleveland leading Philadelphia 3-0. Not only have the Eagles not scored in the first quarter, they've managed only 51 total yards in the first quarter. But according to this, the second quarter bodes well for the Philadelphia Eagles. So far this year, they have outscored opponents 64 points to 7. And Philadelphia has the ball, second down, and almost 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 43. Randall Cunningham back inside the 35. Cleveland has been bringing it, and it has been working.
That looked like the start of the Olympic 100 meter. I mean, they didn't even slow there. What's this? Watch the way these guys just blow through there. Eddie Johnson, a clear shot, obviously a mental error. It looked as though Andrew Toney, number 25, was supposed to step in there and pick him up. When he comes up the middle, made the mistake. Down goes Randall for the second time in the game. 27th time this year.
So Cleveland, with Eddie Johnson coming out, goes to their nickel package on defense. 3 wideouts and a flex backfield for Philadelphia on 3rd and 19. Cunningham under pressure again. Gets away. Incomplete. It was intended for Greg Garrity, far down the far sideline. Sam Clancy almost had Cunningham wrapped up, but Randall, who is such a great athlete, was able to get away, but not able to complete the pass.
It's a great move. He spins away from Sam Clancy, number 91, rolls to his left. Clay Matthews, 57. You'll pick him up on the right-hand side of your screen, I think. Cuts off his angle. There he is being pushed away by Matt Darwin. But the receiver, Greg Garrity, was way downfield. The pass was underthrown. He really couldn't get to it.
Telchek punting to McNeil. And Gerald McNeil hauled down and then hammered it. Got him by the face mask, and flags go down at the 30. It was a 43-yard punt by Telchek. But the net is going to be much less than that after the penalty, and it should be a major penalty because they really hauled him down by the face mask. Of course, Gerald McNeil at 5'7" and 145, you don't really need the face mask. He goes down in a hurry.
William Frissell, number 33, needs it here because if he gets around the corner, there's the face mask. Now, the rule said if you grab a guy by the face mask, it's only 5. But if you use it to make the tackle like it's made here, that's 15, and that's what it's going to be.
So Cleveland will have outstanding field position thanks to the 5th Philadelphia penalty.
Regardless of what some people think, all spark plugs aren't alike. These AC copper core plugs match my car's specs for up to 30,000 miles of high revving firepower.
AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Blue Diamond almond growers know their almonds are always a main attraction. In fact, folks love the taste so much, they munch them just about anywhere. Blue Diamond almonds, anytime, anywhere.
Aren't you guys the Blue Diamond almond growers?
That's right.
Thanks.
Can a week, that's all we ask. Seems fair to me.
If you're planning to move, you could unpack some great savings. Because now when you move yourself with Ryder, we'll enroll you in one of the country's biggest discount shopping services, absolutely free. Which means you can buy almost anything for your new home at some of the best prices around. So after you unpack, you can unwind with some great savings. Ryder, we're there at every turn.
Extra strength Alka-Seltzer has more of what you take Alka-Seltzer for. More medicine. More bubbles. For fast relief of heartburn with a headache, try
Extra strength Alka-Seltzer. More of what you take Alka-Seltzer for.
This is the song they're singing in Cleveland, the quarterback blues, and it's popular among Cleveland opponents. Kozar, Danielson, and Pagel all out. Strzok in there, brand new. There's Bernie on the sideline with the shades on.
That's Pagel right there in the red jacket. That's Danielson.
They're all
1, 2, 3. And here's Bernie working out last week. He told me before the game that next Wednesday the Browns doctor will tell him whether he'll be able to play and start a week from today. He hopes that's what it's going to be because they need him back in there for the stretch run. This could be Don Strzok's cameo appearance here, just one game.
And he'll be a real darling if he can lead them to a victory. Tim Manoa, the ball carrier. Short yardage on the play, and again Mike Pitts made the stop for Philadelphia.
You know, we showed that graphic there about the quarterbacks getting hurt. And last night we were talking to Randall Cunningham, and he said all week long they've been telling us about the Cleveland offensive line hasn't given up a sack in 4 games. He says, well, if they haven't given up a sack in 4 games, how come they're getting all these quarterbacks hurt?
Who's hurting them? Kevin Mack has a pinched nerve in his neck. Tim Manoa has replaced him, and Mack is expected to return to the game. Ernest Biner gets into Philadelphia territory to the 49 before he's hauled down by Seth Joyner. Biner with 5 carries. The ball just over midfield. And it is now 3rd down and a long 5. 3rd and really closer to 6 yards to go.
And this is where the Browns don't want to be when they know Philadelphia is just going to line up and come after him.
Herman Fontenot in the backfield replacing Manoa. And here they come too soon. Were they drawn off? The illegal procedure, the preliminary indication against Cleveland. So the Browns will go from 3rd and 6, or 5.5, to 3rd and almost 11.
Ball start, 69 offense, still 3rd down.
So Dan Fike drew Philadelphia offsides. That is the 8th penalty in the game so far.
There's Strzok reading his play, Steve. See him looking down at his wrist like he's cribbing in college or high school, you know, like you write it on your cup.
Well, he did say it's like going back to school. So many years in Miami, he never had to open the playbook. He knew exactly what Don Shula wanted to do, even if he was an emergency replacement. But here he's had to go back to school. He's under pressure and gets it away in traffic, almost picked off, but incomplete. The pass was intended for Gerald McNeil, and Roynell Young was all over him. So it's 4th and 11, and the kicking team is on. Surprisingly, as you look at Max Runniger, who will be punting for the first time, Strzok seems to be forcing the ball. Mark Konechny is back deep. An end-over-end punt, line drive. Konechny at the 18, weaving his way out near the 30 before he's pushed back. He gets it out to about the 28. A 36-yard line drive punt by Runniger. Still 3-0 Cleveland. We'll be right back.
In Malaysia, Dada means drugs. In Malaysia, Dada is death, based on a true story. Dada is death. Coming soon to CBS.
I'm Art Modell.
Just a minute, Art. Excuse me? I'm Pat Modell with a special thank you message for everyone who's been part of the United Way winning team. Bernie Kozar can pass us to victory on the field. And when it comes to providing daycare services, he's a team leader too. Marty Schottenheimer has given new life to our team, but he's also giving new life to our senior citizens. Gerald McNeil can run against the opposition on the punt return, and he's teaching young people to run against the odds and win when it comes to fighting drugs. United Way, and my silent partner here, is leading us all to a better community and a better tomorrow. Because United Way, it brings out the best in all of us. Now, did you want to say something, Art?
Goodbye.
That's good.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. Miller Brewing is the exclusive beer sponsor of today's telecast. Prudential Bates Securities, rock solid market-wise. And by Dodge Cars and Trucks, on the street or off the road, it's the new spirit of Dodge.
We have 12:06 remaining in the second quarter here in Cleveland. Sold out. Cleveland Municipal Stadium. The dogs are everywhere. In and out of the dog pound. And they're watching their Browns lead 3-0. Buddy Ryan and company trying to move up in the NFC East. Cleveland battling the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Central.
There's Ron Heller, and he's the reason Randall Cunningham got the face mask. See the shield he is on?
Heller's the one who got poked.
Yeah, Heller got poked by a Minnesota Vikings defensive lineman, Al Baker, and spent 5 days in the hospital.
Tony with a good run out across the 25 to about the 26. Anthony Tony had a little heart palpitation a while back. The Philadelphia paper carried a headline that said, in the sports page, Tony announces retirement. It turned out to be Andrew Toney of the Philadelphia 76ers. And Anthony said when he read that, he thought somebody didn't tell him something. Wanted to get on the phone and call the front office. On second down, it's Toney again. Fighting for yardage and very close to a first down. As he's out near the 40. He appears to have enough for it. Sam Clancy, number 91, been on the stop for Cleveland.
This thing underway.
This Heller coming off the ball, number 73, taking Sam Clancy on, head on. Got a double team cover. He's driving him back. Heller says the one thing tough about playing with the mask on is you sweat too much and it runs down the plastic and you can't really see what you're doing.
Yeah, it tends to fog up a little bit. Good first down yardage by Toney as he picks up about 6 to the 46. Bob Golick, number 79, made the tackle there. Second down and about 4. Philadelphia now going to the ground game and moving the football. Toney has carried the last 3 times for gains of 7, 4, and 6 yards, and now has 6 carries for 27. Play action. Fires with a juggling reception. Close to the first down before he's knocked out of bounds. He tried to hang in there until he went out of bounds as Frank Minifield was trying to keep him from the marker.
The one thing that surprised Philadelphia about Keith Byers is what a wonderful pair of hands he has. He's catching the ball well. Look at, gets away, watch this from Minifield, and makes a fine play at the end. He lunges out. He notices where the first down marker is, tries to reach out with his hand, put the ball up there trying to get it. Not too many backs, after just juggling the ball, after just getting hit, would have the presence of mind to still turn around and try to look for that thing for the first down.
Byers, of course, at Ohio State, never used as a pass receiver because they hardly ever threw the ball at Ohio State as they come out for a measurement.
And he made it.
Yep. Good second effort by Byers. When Byers came back after 2 years of foot problems, he thought he had, as we bring you up to date of scores of other games, he thought he had the same speed he had before he injured the foot. It turned out that the fastest 40 he could run was a 4.9. Before he was injured, he ran a 4.5. Well, he worked and he worked and he ran with Cunningham. They ran together, they ran pass plays, and Cunningham would throw to him. And Byers has gotten that speed back down to 4.5 in the 40 just through hard work.
But Cunningham, the only quarterback probably that ever played the game, that's the fastest guy in his team.
That's right. He could
He's still the fastest guy in the entire Eagle team.
That's right. He's still good. Cunningham loops one out of there. Jackson hammered out of bounds. Hangs on to the football, however, is Mike Johnson in his 3rd year out of Virginia Tech. Takes Keith out of bounds near the 40, or rather the 46 of Cleveland, where they're going to mark it. So it's a gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 6. been Philadelphia's longest sustained drive. They're just into Cleveland territory as Tony fights for a yard to the 45, and that is all. Bob Golick 79 and Carl Hairston 78. Sandwich him there. So it'll be 3rd down and 5.
It's a strange game, Steve. You know, he had such the explosive start. You know, right off the bat, Kevin Mack breaks out, runs 65 yards, puts the Browns in scoring position. Boom, a play or two later, Struck throws the interception. They start, but all of a sudden it settled down. A real conservative game, running the ball all the time in 1st and 2nd down, not taking too many chances, both sides.
But now it's 3rd and 5, and extra wide receivers against extra defensive backs. Cunningham under pressure again, tries to step up and is level at midfield. The Browns continually getting to Cunningham, and a fight has broken out. Flags are flying down near the 35-yard line of Cleveland.
Well, let me tell you what happened there, Steve. Hanford Dixon, their fine cornerback, was downfield covering Keith Jackson, the tight end. There's a difference there of about 70 pounds. Jackson gave Dixon a little shot when the play was all over. Dixon, 70 pounds lighter, took a run at him and tried to like headbutt him under the chin from about 5 yards away. Then they started going after him.
And then they were joined by a couple other players. Meanwhile, back at the line of scrimmage, Carl Hairston, who was involved in the sack of Cunningham, was shaken up, slow to get up, and is being escorted off the field.
Again, tremendous pressure on Cunningham. He really hasn't had the opportunity to throw today, but you have to give the credit to the Cleveland defensive backs. Minifield and Dixon cover so well. Both Pro Bowl wide cornerbacks. They're all over the Philadelphia wide receivers, and he hasn't the time to hang in there and wait for them to do something.
The personal foul goes against the Cleveland Browns, and it will move the ball to the 35. A dead ball foul after the play, and it'll be 1st and 10 Philadelphia at the Browns 35. Dixon, who is playing with a bad hamstring, assessed the penalty.
Well, I don't agree with that call at all, and I saw the whole play, because I just happened to be lucky enough to be looking downfield when it happened. If they were going to do anything, both of them should have got it.
Well, what
should have offset, and they should have come back to the line of scrimmage.
That's right, Will, but what happens ordinarily is that the retaliation is what gets seen by the officials, and consequently, that's when the call is made, and that's what appeared to have happened there. Cunningham on 1st down, swings it out to Byers. Byers has a 1st down near the Cleveland 20 before he's ridden out of bounds by Brian Washington and Clay Matthews. Another conservative play, but effective on 1st down.
41 Byers in the left of your screen, swings out 48 for Cleveland. Here he comes, Brian Washington, the safety man, didn't react to the coverage soon enough. That's his man. He stepped up tight to the line from a safety position, almost like a linebacker, but then he started too late to get out there on Byers.
Gain of 15, and here's Tony, and he is hauled down on a fine play by David Grayson, who's having a good ball game, and gets Tony for short yardage when the rest of the field was pretty much clear ahead.
Let's go back to the fight, because that's the key play in the drive, because they had sacked him. Okay, now he's going to be in a long yardage situation.
You're talking about maybe a 25-yard difference right there.
Yeah, but if they fight each other, it isn't like Keith Jackson just walked to the bench. He got in the fight. He threw Dixon to the ground. How come he isn't penalized? He's part of the fight. I mean, you just can't walk away. What, was Dixon fighting by himself?
Against the guy 70 pounds heavier. Cunningham with time, tipped away at the last second. Intended for Byers, but Eddie Johnson got a hand on it as Byers was breaking over the middle. And they're going crazy in the dog pound, making even more noise. It'll be 3rd down and 8. The ball still just inside the 18 of Cleveland.
Now let's, if we can, keep an eye on Cunningham coming out. It's very noisy at this end of the field where the dog pound is. You can see it. If he wants to check off, he told us he has to use hand signals, and he's ready to do it.
He's not going to the shotgun. Now he's sacked at the 21. Again, the Cleveland secondary had everybody covered, and Cunningham had to eat it. Clay Matthews finally brought him down. And the dog pound fun is really erupting now.
Here's the pressure up the middle. They're rushing in their 4 lanes. They want to keep Cunningham in the pocket. They don't want to let him get outside containment. He tries, but here's Clay Matthews, 57. Very quick and the best of all the Brown linebackers at rushing the passer.
So a field goal attempt by Zendejas, who's 5 of 7. Telchik holds, and Zendejas sneaks it inside the left upright to tie the ball game. 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
You gotta stop.
So stay tuned for the 49ers Rams, the second half of our CBS doubleheader coming up next. The penalty moves the ball back inside the 12. That is all the 5th penalty now on Cleveland for a total of 41 yards. Philadelphia also with 5 penalties. So Strock and company, who enjoyed pretty good field position before, have about the worst of it now. Tim Manoa hit immediately in the backfield for a loss by Mike Pitts. Pitts got there about the same time the football did.
There's Pitts, a mental error, steps right in, bounces off of Larry Williams, but somebody else is supposed to be able to be there and pick him up in a situation like that, and nobody was.
So it's a loss of a couple back to the 10, where it'll be 2nd down and 12. Philadelphia with a very aggressive defense. Strock swings it out to the tight end Ozzie Newsome. And Newsome for a gain of about 5 to the 15, and that is all, as Mike Reichenbach wrapped him up immediately.
Watch Ozzie come off the ball now, number 82, working a Reichenbach. It's a simple out pattern, 4 or 5 yards. He makes the catch. This keeps his streak alive. Told us the other day he didn't think he'd catch Steve Largent. You know, Steve Largent has the all-time record for most consecutive passes in the game. Ozzie, this gives him 134, most ever by a tight end. I think he now needs 7 more to catch 600 passes. No other tight end has ever done that.
That's right. He has 593 career receptions right now.
And this is the most critical down of the first half right here, Steve.
3rd down and 7. Cleveland at their own 16. A 3-3 tie. Strock fires to Webster. Slaughter complete for a first down. And Slaughter out for the 26 before he's brought down by Andre Waters, the strong safety.
Here's Strock. He seems to be settling down now. Looks all the way for Webster Slaughter, the best receiver on the Browns. The only guy that can really have any speed to take it upfield. There's good coverage, but the timing on that was excellent. And the read was excellent. He hit him right in the right spot where he knew he had enough yardage to get the first down.
Webster Slaughter's been bothered by a bad shoulder, but he is in there. And the Browns have a 1st and 10. Market of 27. The 29 in the grasp brother of Reggie White and Mike Pitts.
Steve, this is a passing time. You know, quarterbacks like in the Cleveland offense can take either a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, and you see when they take 3, generally they try to throw it 10 yards and under, and they want to do it in 1-3. If it's more than that, if it's 5-step drop, the ball's going to go 10 to 18. It's about 1-8. Over that 7-step drop takes about 2.3 seconds. So keep that in mind today when you're looking at Strock. See how much time he can buy against this Philadelphia. We should probably have it reversed with Cunningham.
That's right, the way things have been going.
He certainly didn't get 2.3, I'll tell you that.
Cleveland has been doing the sacking so far. Strock with a short drop, swings it out to Slaughter. And Slaughter had his forward progress stopped, and now he's complaining to the official, Ron Blum, the line judge, that he should have been allowed to keep going because he broke free from Eric Allen. But they say his forward progress was stopped, and it is short of a first down.
Now there's the pocket watch. Let's see what Strock gets here. Here it goes. Stepping back, looks for his receiver. Gets it on the outside of Slaughter, gets it away. 2.3. And that was really like a 5-step drop, so that was certainly more than adequate amount of time to throw the ball.
That's right. He almost waited a little too long because Eric Allen had a chance to knock that ball away. Third and short, and Strzok throws it away. Pass was intended for Brian Brennan, but I don't know whether Brennan lost his feet or whether he cut an opposite direction from what Strzok expected, but neither Brennan and the ball came very close to each other. So it's 4th down, and the punting unit is on. Max Runiger, who's averaged over 40 yards a kick this year, and Mark Konechny back for Philadelphia. Runiger with an end-over-end. Konechny comes up and takes it on a fair catch at the 34. We have 3:03 left to go in the first half here in Cleveland, and we're still tied at 3.
This long row of junkers is no match for the Ford Bigfoot. But here's a real test. Can a regular Ford 4x4 drive over it carrying a Chevy and towing the 14,000-pound Bigfoot? The Ford starts clawing over the jagged metal with a Chevy on board and towing Bigfoot. Ford is the only pickup with 4 choices of multi-Ford fuel-injected engines to give you the power you want when you need it. Yes, the Ford triumphs over the twisted junkers in spite of its tremendous load. Ford, the best-built American trucks, 8 years running, built Ford tough.
What's he doing now?
He just keeps looking funny at the cigar.
But it's a Dutch Master Zero Producto.
How come?
Most cigars don't use natural leaf wrappers anymore, but Garcia Vega still does. Garcia Vega gives you the rich tobacco taste of natural leaf wrappers. Hey, why don't you ring this guy's chimes and tell me he needs an honest cigar?
And now there's Garcia Vega Whiffs, another honest cigar.
He's doing it again.
The only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold filtered one.
Can you draft anymore?
Not time. Because if you want a beer whose rich, smooth draft taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. It's as real as beer gets.
One coach exalted in tradition, the other steeped in controversy. Joe Paterno leads Penn State against Bill Curry and Alabama next Saturday on CBS Sports.
The Dog Pound is sold out here in Cleveland. So is the entire Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Steve Zabriskie and Will McDonough bringing you the NFL on CBS. Game 1 of a CBS doubleheader today. And with just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half of play, it's a 3-3 tie. And the Eagles back on offense, 1st and 10 at their own 35. Cutting him to fake to Tony. And a pass to Byard. Eddie Johnson runs him down. About a 9-yard gain. 1 yard short of the first down at the 44.
It looks like Cunningham's going to start going to his backs now. He can't get it out to his wide receivers. Play action fake to Tony. Steps up and throws out in the flat. Here's Keith Byars again. Going up against inside linebacker Eddie Johnson. Johnson held in by the play fake. Couldn't get out there fast enough to get on the coverage.
2nd and 1. Throwing again. And incomplete intended for Keith Jackson. Jackson, who had a super game on Monday night against the Giants, banged up a little bit in that game and not at 100%.
Yeah, Cunningham looks right at him. Jackson just comes out, little 2-yard square out, simply drops the ball. Hasn't done that much this year. He's got 40 catches so far this year, leads the NFL as a rookie. In his last 2 years at Oklahoma, he only had 27 catches as a junior and a senior combined, so he's had a heck of a year. But he's been hurt. He not only hurt his hip Monday night, but they tell me he hurt his ankle and knee in practice during the week. And like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he was questionable for this game.
3rd down and 1, the pitch to Anthony Tony. And Tony fights with second effort to get across the 45 and pick up the first down. A reminder that college football continues here on CBS next Saturday. As you look at Buddy Ryan, it'll be another Pennsylvania coach, Joe Paterno, and his Nittany Lions will be going down south to take on Alabama. Bill Curry's Crimson Tide, 2:30 Eastern Time next Saturday, right here on CBS. Of course, Alabama beat Penn State last year in Happy Valley. 1st and 10, Philadelphia from their own 46. Pressure gets it away and completes it out of the backfield. It's Junior Totaltasi. And Totaltasi hammered out of bounds by Felix Wright. The clock is running, and we are at the 2-minute warning. So still 3-3 with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva? It's big. It's small. Sort of a big smallness.
Cutest little thing.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price? It's small.
Small.
It's nothing.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small, call it yours for only $56.99.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold filtered one. Yeah, if you want a beer whose real draft taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets. When the stars come out to play, babe, a twinkling show, ooh, dinner out of sight. Yeah, the night time is golden light time. Big Dipper at McDonald's. Showtime is night tonight.
It is a game of power, speed, and beauty. The United States takes on the Argentines in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship next Saturday on CBS Sports.
The NFL cliche has always been that defense wins championships, and defense has been at the forefront of this game. 3-3 tie with 2 minutes remaining in the half. And look at the play selection. Philadelphia ordinarily passes 60% of the time. It's almost exactly equal. Cunningham to throw on second down, swings it out to Keith Byers. Byers makes one man miss, and then Minifield makes the tackle with a little help from Wright. Short of the first down marker. So it'll be third down and about 2.5 yards to go. And Philadelphia will go quickly without the huddle. Out of the shotgun, Cunningham again. Fires over the middle, complete to Chris Carter. The ball comes loose. No, they say he was down, and it's going to be a reception. The ball was recovered by Cleveland's Mike Johnson. Dixon and Eddie Johnson arguing the play, but they rule it Philadelphia's ball. Schottenheimer with the word.
Cleveland, Philly calling timeout.
Philadelphia's taking a timeout. That stops the clock with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the half. They still have 2 left, and we'll be right back.
How long was that?
AT&T has just made Watts a whole new ballgame for any size business. Pick from a lineup of plans that give you call detail, distance-sensitive pricing, and major league discounts, even on international and AT&T card calls. If you thought AT&T Watts had just one pitch, now it's a whole new ballgame.
On an August day in 1988, an historic event took place. It didn't happen on Main Street or in any American town, but in Russia, where soldiers began destroying hundreds of nuclear missiles with the understanding that we'd destroy some of our own. The first disarmament treaty of its kind. And though most Americans were unaware of the significance of the moment or realized it was George Bush who led the way, someday their grandchildren will.
Gillette has changed the face of shaving. First, we made it closer. Then we made it smoother. Atra Plus. Its Lubra Smooth Strip actually releases lubricants to glide the razor more smoothly. Incredible smoothness from the first stroke to the last. The Atra Plus system. First we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
Here's the tail end of the play, and perhaps the timeout has given the replay official, Royal Cathcart, time to look at it as well.
Well, you see Chris Carter making a nice catch of a 16-yard completion. I think the officials called it the right way. Frank Minifield's tackle brought him to the ground. Yeah, they did take a look at him. See, I thought it was a bad mistake for Randall Cunningham to take a timeout because he let him look at the replay. Luckily for him, they called it right in the first place.
So it was not a fumble, and it is 1st and 10, Philadelphia at the Cleveland 31 with a minute 14 to go in the half. Cunningham sacked at the 40. Michael Dean Perry, Little Fridge.
He doesn't like to be called that. He said, I don't want any nicknames. My name is Michael Dean Perry. But if you watch Cunningham then, he checked off at the line of scrimmage using the hand signals, but there's Perry flying around and making the sack.
Philadelphia without the huddle, intercepted by Minifield. And now Minifield runs out of bounds on the near sideline, and another fight breaks out as Chris Carter gets into it with some of the Cleveland players. Minifield with the interception, and just 48 seconds remain on the clock in the first half.
These Browns defensive backs have been sensational here in the first half.
They have been the story, because Cunningham, although he runs extremely well, has just not had anybody open.
Cunningham back, gets a little pressure from the backside, just takes one step up, but throws it into the zone coverage. Didn't look like he read it that right. Here's Minifield now, going to go to his right and said, wait, there's too many guys in green shirts over here. We're going back, and we're going to get out of bounds, and we're going to stop the clock and give our guys a chance.
Cleveland 1st and 10 at their own 36. Strock with time, unloads it short, and almost picked off by William Frizzell, who had a chance. The ball was underthrown even for him.
And he almost became victim number 5. I mean, number 4, really, of the Browns quarterback.
Marty Schottenheimer's heart goes into his throat.
Reggie White, number 92, best in the business. Took a leap. Fortunately for Strock, he saw him coming and get out of the way. But that was one of the few times in this first half that the Philadelphia Eagles lined up Reggie White over the center, Glenn Riccozzi, where he's most dangerous in the pass rush situation, and he just blew in there. I mean, one step, he was loose, he was coming after Strock.
A reminder coming up at halftime. Brent and Dick Butkus with all the scores and highlights. There goes Ernest Biner on the draw play out of the shotgun. Biner to the Philadelphia 39. 36 seconds left in the half. And a timeout to stop the clock. Todd Bell made the tackle. We'll be right back to noisy Cleveland Stadium.
When that clock strikes 6:30, babe, time to head for Golden Lights. It's a good time for the great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Watch for the little draw play coming right out of the shotgun formation. Strock takes it. Hands off to Ernest Biner, who's going to cut it right up the middle. Philadelphia's dropping back in his zone defense. All their backers are out of there. Makes a heck of a run. Cleveland has already gained 126 yards in this game and just 14 carries. Of course, a lot of them went to the second play of the game. And Kevin Mack ran 65 yards. But Philadelphia really didn't think. We talked to the players last night that Cleveland could run for 100 yards on them.
Well, they've done it and then some in the first half. They have 2 timeouts remaining and 35 seconds on the clock. Strock over the middle, deep, complete for Brennan at the 6-yard line. Timeout called immediately as Andre Waters, the strong safety, brings down Brian Brennan at the 6. 1st and goal, Cleveland.
Here's Don Strock again out of the shotgun. Look to the right of your screen. He's looking at Brian Brennan all the way, even in double coverage. Brennan comes to the inside, beats his man Andre Waters, and then is taken down by the deep zone coverage, Eric Allen. But the cut and the throw, the timing was so good that before 21, Eric Allen could respond and get to the coverage deep. The ball was in there, and there's Strock taking the timeout.
Right away, he called the timeout, and Cleveland now has one timeout remaining, 28 seconds left in the first half of a 3-3 tie. It's first and goal at the Philadelphia 6. Next week's NFL action will begin at 12:30 Eastern Time as usual with the NFL Today, and most of you will see the Cowboys travel to Philadelphia to take on these Eagles. Others of you will see Detroit at Kansas City or Washington at Green Bay. Be sure to check the local listings in your area for the time and game in your area. Run out of time. It's going to be sacked back around the 13. The clock stops with 24 seconds remaining in the half as Jerome Brown, at near 300 pounds, out of the University of Miami, got to him.
Well, here's where Strock is really hurting. Not on this play when Jerome Brown gets the sack. The coverage was good. But he really doesn't know right here the 2-minute drill. He isn't that sophisticated yet. He doesn't know the timing of it.
The pass was intended for Webster Slaughter, although it was thrown behind him and sort of between him and Reggie Langhorne. And Slaughter was hammered as soon as the ball went by and was looking for a interference call against Wes Hopkins. But it was not a catchable pass, and the ball had already hit the ground. So 13 seconds remain, and you see Matt Barr loosening up on the sideline as it will now be 3rd and goal from the 13. Strock checking out which number corresponds to which play. On that wristband, Schottenheimer sends in the number.
The Eagles' coverage on these two plays down deep in here, Steve, has been tremendous. You know, they have covered everybody all over the field. So it isn't like Strock, when he gets back there, has somebody to throw to wide open. He hasn't.
Now we've got a delay of game penalty called against Cleveland, and they will move the ball back 5 more yards. But they may not.
It's Cleveland's decision. You know, even though you knock them back 5 yards, it opens up more room for your receivers trying to get down into the end zone, gives them more room to operate. Some teams might have said no.
Reggie White went over and tried to argue with the officials to see if he could decline the penalty, but he cannot.
Oh, you can. He can decline the penalty, sure. But he looked to the bench, is what you were looking at, Steve. And I think Buddy Ryan said, take the penalty. Maybe Buddy's figuring, hey, we'll back him up. Eventually they're going for field goal. It's going to be tough.
Well, that's right. It does make the field goal more difficult. Inside handoff to Biner again. He breaks the tackle. Inside 10.
He's gone.
Touchdown.
But there's a flag on the play.
Marker down near the line of scrimmage. And it apparently is against Cleveland. Yes, an illegal block. And it may have been called on Cody Rison.
No, I think it's on the wide receiver out there laying down on the field. We can't pick up his number so far. It looks like if it's Clarence Weathers or not.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Weathers is being attended to.
Weathers is one of the smallest guys in the field. He weighs 100.
On Cleveland, in the last 2 minutes, it's an automatic team timeout.
It's an automatic
Okay,
timeout.
here it is. Again, they're in the shotgun. Philadelphia puts it substituted package. Here's Biner takes the handoff. Same play they used a while ago to get 20 or 30 out. Now here's the play over there. Weathers coming back into the middle. Drills the nickel back. William Frizzell from behind. The official picks it up, throws the flag, calls it back.
And then Weathers got hammered because another Eagles player came over the top and ran into him, hit him right on the helmet, and apparently he is rather woozy. So it is an automatic team timeout charge to Cleveland because we're in the last 2 minutes. It was their final timeout. And again, a reminder, Brent Musburger and Dick Butkus will be along at halftime with the NFL Today to bring you up to date on what else is happening around the NFL.
Here's Clarence Weathers coming off the field. He's just shaken up. He looks to be all right. But what this injury does is forces the Browns. They've already got their field goal kicking unit out in the field. Okay, and as soon as they're coming up to the line of scrimmage, because as soon as this official, Johnny Greer, puts that clock in motion, they got to get it off in 14 seconds. There's no 45-second clock, no 30-second clock. Excuse me, in 6 seconds. The clock ran down to 6 seconds, so they have to be up and ready to go, and that's why they're out there. So losing their last time out to injury puts a little bit more pressure on them, where they got to be right into it and get the kick away. They can't take any time.
First they lose the touchdown on the penalty. Then they lose Weathers, at least temporarily, in the injury. And now they lose their last timeout because of the injury. The hold is at the 30. It's a 40-yard attempt by Barr. And it's no good. It's wide to the left. So Cleveland somewhat deflated as they move down the field in the final 2 minutes. After the interception by Minifield, they have an apparent touchdown called back on a penalty and now miss this 40-yard field goal attempt by Barr.
Barr just didn't hit this well, and he hooked it. But right off his foot, you could see he didn't hit it clean. There was no pop. The ball really wasn't flying towards the goalpost. It just sort of waffled out there, and he had nothing on it. At the end of the kick, it just hooked outside the left post.
Well, Barr kicked a field goal in the first quarter. Philadelphia added one by Louis Tenz down on special teams to make the tackle. And take a look at this. Cleveland has allowed only 3 points in the third quarter all year so far, the fewest in the NFL.
And they haven't scored that many either.
No,
I think it's only 9 points. I don't think they've had a touchdown in the third quarter either way in any game they've played this year, 6 games.
Third quarter has been defensively oriented, and we'll see what happens. 1st and 10 from the 19 for Philadelphia. Cunningham gives it to Tony. And Anthony Tony gets about 4 near the 23. Bob Golick and 91 Sam Clancy make the tackle. And the public address announcer here has referred to him as Andrew Tony. Just like the newspaper article that gave Anthony a little scare. If he was called Tony, he'd be Tony Tony. Consequently, he goes by Anthony. Tony again, hit immediately in the backfield. And what a game David Grayson is having. Grayson also in only his 2nd year out of Fresno State had great penetration.
A complete surprise to the Browns. Here he is, very quick, 4-4. They picked him up last year during the strike games. They kept him on the team. They kept him around. So this guy has tremendous speed. They coached him, and now he's a starter. His dad used to play with the old Dallas Texans and the old Kansas City Chiefs back at the start of the American Football League. He's a heck of a defensive back.
It's in the genes. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Cunningham again. Charles Buchanan, who was just signed this week out of Tennessee State. Buchanan signed the first part of the week to shore up that defensive line.
Watch Buchanan, comes with the outside rush. Here's Matthews fighting off Baez. Down goes Cunningham again. 5 in the game.
On 4th down and 10. Gerald McNeil brought back deep.
Great punt.
John Telchik's been busy, but he booms this one to the 28. And McNeil would know where to go but down as his forward progress was about to the 30. And it was a 53-yard punt by John Telchik. They mark it at the 31. So Cleveland on offense for the first time in the second half in pretty good field position to start.
I think the officials better get a little bit of a grip in this game, Steve, because we just had another skirmish after that play. That's the 3rd one so far in the game. They're both very physical teams. They're both a little upset with one another right now, so they're going to have to stay on top of it.
And both teams' special teams have been chided a little bit recently by their coaches. So some extra aggression demonstrated on special teams on both sides of the ball. Tim Manoa trying to get outside. To the line of scrimmage, and that is all. As the Eagles, with great pursuit, Andre Waters and Roynell Young finally make the tackle. Perhaps even a short loss on the play. Back to the 30 So a loss of 1 will make it 2nd down and almost 11. White with the pressure on Strunk, and it's almost intercepted. Joyner had his hands on it but couldn't hold on.
Well, the reason Don Strunk makes this play is that Reggie White is in his face in about 1/10 of a second. Here he comes, blows by right by Cody Reason. Almost throws it away again. Seth Joyner had it in his hands. Couldn't hold on to the ball. That's the 3rd time today Strunk, and he's only thrown about a dozen passes, has thrown up balls that easily could have been caught by the Philadelphia defenders.
Much closer to Philadelphia than it was to either of the receivers. Webster Swatter the closest to the ball. Now it is 3rd down and almost 11. Complete. Brennan for a 1st down in Philadelphia territory at the Eagle 43. Eric Allen dropped him there, but a big 3rd down conversion for Strunk and the Browns.
Strunk isn't losing his guts, I'll tell you that. You talk about living dangerously. He just throws this into the middle of a 3-deep zone. There's the 3 defenders, but fortunately for him, finds Brennan again. Brennan seems like the guy that he can feel he can work with, that he's most comfortable against.
Webster Swatter not in the pattern because he was knocked down.
Yeah, that's Frizzell, 33, their nickelback, who takes him out of there. But again, he throws in the coverage. He throws a dangerous pass, but this time he gets away with it and makes a big play.
Kevin Mack back in the ball game and gets his face mask grabbed, and the flag goes down, and so does Mack for a loss. So we will have perhaps the minor version of the face mask infraction. Seth Joyner got a hand on it, and we'll hear the call from referee Johnny Breyer.
Face mask, 59 defense, still 1st down.
Here's a handoff now. Simple play. Kevin Mack wants to cut inside, but it's not there. It looks to me like the Eagles made the adjustment at halftime to slide their line, not to create the gaps. And there was Joyner, 59, as Mack bounced outside, reaching up, got his hand on the face mask, 5 yards and a 1st down.
1st down and 5. Mack again, leaping over the 35, down to around the 33. Mike Reichenbach lost his starting job, number 55. Now he's back in there, and he's calling the defensive signals, and Buddy Ryan feels that's a big improvement.
Now here he is looking at Buddy. Now Buddy gives him the sign. That's the basic defense. Now here's Reichenbach. He just says to his team, usually they call it AFC, automatic front coverage. Now see him looking around. Now he's calling the signals to his outside linebackers and his defensive back. Sees him? That's what he does. That's how they communicate. That's how he makes all the adjustments, and he's very good at it.
2nd down and 2. Ernest Biner straight ahead. And Biner may have enough for the 1st down. He's close to the 32.
Reichenbach last year was the middle linebacker for most of the season, and then they took him out in the end for Byron Evans, who's a terrific young linebacker, great talent, and try to break him in to get ready for this season. Okay, but he started this season, but he really couldn't handle all the calls. It's very difficult to be the middle linebacker in Buddy Ryan's system because you have to study so much. You have to be a coach like for Buddy. You have to know as much as it. Here's Reichenbach going around now saying, get ready, guys. He's looking at Buddy. What's Buddy going to tell me? The basic defense. And then Reichenbach has to do everything else. He makes all the calls for the linemen in front of him, makes all the calls for everybody around him.
Enough for a 1st down on the carry by Biner. And a reminder again, it's a doubleheader day here on CBS. Coming up next, the 2nd half of the NFL doubleheader. San Francisco taking on the Los Angeles Rams in a big NFC Western Conference battle immediately following this game right here on CBS.
Now, Reichenbach, you see in the picture, told us last night the thing he feared in this game was they would be too aggressive on defense, overrun the cutbacks, which happened to them in the first half. Now they seem to have settled down, and they're all staying in their lanes in the second half, trying to play the run better.
Biner can't get away, and Reichenbach is right there. So Reichenbach not only calling the defense, but providing a lot of it, and it'll be a loss of a yard.
See, he goes with the flow, but he doesn't get cut, and he stays in his lane. See, he just doesn't get so far off the ball or so committed going to his left that he can't stay with the back when the cutback comes. And it looks as though the Eagles have really adjusted to that. And after getting the ball run on them like they did in the first half, you better adjust.
They had 131 yards, did the Cleveland Browns, on the ground. There was some preliminary movement prior to the snap, and a flag is down. And so is Biner. Jerome Brown, number 99, but the call will be against Cleveland. And I believe it's going to be a illegal motion, as it appeared there was some movement prior to the snap.
Illegal motion. 34 offense. It's declined. Third down.
So Kevin Mack's movement declined by Philadelphia. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 as Biner was able to get it back to the original line of scrimmage. So Mack will come out. Fontenot comes in, and Strock goes to the wristband as Fontenot appeared to bring the number play in for him. Shotgun formation with 3 wide receivers. And you can really make it 4 with Fontenot in the game for Mack. Strock under pressure, gets away, but not too far. Hauled down by Mike Pitts, who's had a great game, with some help from Andre Waters, the strong safety.
See how much time he has now. There's your pocket watch. We'll go at the snap. You got to have at least 2.5. If you're this far back, they're there in 2. They flush him out of the pocket. Here he comes again, has to hold on to the ball, and really at about the 3-second mark, they pull him down. He just simply didn't have the time. The Eagles went in, gave him a new look on defense. Nobody picked up the linebacker. He's in there clean and makes the play.
Max Runniger on to kick, and Mark Konechny is back for Philadelphia, standing at his own 10. Low snap. Runniger gets it off, and it hangs high. Fair catch called by Konechny at the 7 as he takes a seat. Still a 3-3 tie in Cleveland with 8:09 left in the 3rd.
At UPS, we're changing the look of the international delivery business. Because now, UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge. An accomplishment we feel deserves a little flag waving. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business. It has a classic design and an engine that sings.
For more than 50 years, American business has made Liberty Mutual the largest insurer for workers' compensation insurance.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
In Ricky Rudd's high-torque V8, clean-running Quaker State with QSX provides unbeatable protection from wear and tear.
And the oil that protects my car on the track is the same oil you buy right off the shelf.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
It's not an overstatement to say that this is a low-scoring game this afternoon, but that seems to be the trend this year. Will, the scoring is down all over the NFL.
Let's take a look at this graph, and this is what had the owners and the league office insuring the National Football League. Let's go to 1978. In yellow, you see 36-7. That's how many points were scored in 1978 in the average game, both teams combined. Since then, it was over to 40. Now, this year is the first year since 78. It's back under 40 again, and it's because everybody's playing better defense.
Cunningham throwing in the shadow of the goal. fielded. Minifield with his second interception. And he's down inside the 15. A penalty flag is down, however. Minifield beside himself, as apparently the call will go against Cleveland. And during the commercial timeout, Dixon, among others, whipping the dog pound into a frenzy.
And there's Minifield, and he's in a frenzy.
31 defense, first down.
Minifield called for pass interference, negating the interception and giving Philadelphia a first down at their own 17.
Let's see if we can pick it up. Cunningham looks right out to his right. There's Minifield. Looks like he steps in front of him and makes the play. It's tough to see. You can't see whether he pushed off from behind or what. From there, it looked like a clean interception.
Penalty against Cleveland. Cunningham with time. Going deep. Incomplete, intended for Greg Garrity, who was well covered by Felix Wright, the safety. One of the few times that Randall Cunningham has had enough time, even though the pressure was put on him. David Grayson was blitzing, but Philadelphia picked it up well. And again, that Cleveland secondary doing a great job of keeping the receivers covered.
Minifield's still so mad, he went over in front of the Eagle bench and chewed out the official, took his helmet off when the play was all over and gave it to him again.
Second down and 10, still at the Philadelphia 17. Cunningham under pressure gets it away and completes it to Keith Jackson. And Jackson stopped at the 20 by Eddie Johnson. That'll be well short of the first down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 22. But Philadelphia needs to get to the 27.
Here's Grayson running a little deal with 78 Hairston coming around the outside, put the pressure on. But Cunningham has Keith Jackson this year as a tight end. Third catch today, 41 for the season. He's the outlet guy.
As you see, both teams very good against third down defensively. Cleveland second and Philadelphia third in the league, and allowing third down conversion.
And there's the hand signal. The dog pound's got him. He's going to use his hands to tell the outside receiver to make the adjustment. Here comes the blitz.
And he's sacked down near the 12-yard line. Will Hill, blitzing from his safety position, gets Cunningham once again.
Here's Cunningham dropping back. Noise, here's Will Hill coming through clean from the safety position. Again, another mental error by Philadelphia in the offensive line or with one of their backs. Again, Cunningham getting hit.
Telchik punting from the 3-yard line. Line drives it to McNeil at the 45. McNeil with blocking down near the 30 of Philadelphia. And again, a scuffle breaks out. That's about the 5th or 6th fight that has taken place after a play. A 42-yard punt by Telchik. But McNeil ran it back inside the 35. But what a little water bug Gerald McNeil is. 5'7", 145 pounds. How many 145-pounders play in the NFL?
He doesn't even look 145 when you see him on the practice. This is a line drive punt, just right to be run back. Gerald McNeil was a Pro Bowl punt returner last year for the AFC. But every time these two special teams have been on the field today, they're at one another when the play's all over.
A 22-yard return, first and 10. Kevin Mack inside the 30 to the 29, where Waters trips him up. Let's take a look at the extracurricular activity after the return by McNeil.
Now here it is, a slow down and slow mo. Look, guys are jumping over one another. 2 or 3 guys are separated. The referee, I think, or one of the officials even takes a shot here right in the middle of one of the piles. They just got to calm them down a little bit. You know, we've been saying that for 2 periods. You can see this thing building. This crowd's going crazy. They do anything to get a score. They think they can win with another 3 points.
And the intensity is escalating. Second down, 7. Stroud completes it to his is tight end, number 81, Derek Tennell. And Tennell has a first down before he's run out of bounds near the 15 of Philadelphia.
Perhaps Don Strock, he checked off for the first time today before this play. He looks up, straightens up. Another mistake in the Philadelphia secondary. Nobody's out there in the coverage. Derek Tennell takes it upfield, again in scoring territory, gets it down to the 14, first down. But Strock, for the first time today, looked like he checked off. Moved his backs around, made the call. Maybe he is getting comfortable.
Well, one thing you know about Don Strock, he's not nervous. He's one of the coolest heads you'll ever want to be around, but he is a little unsure and has been because of his lack of playing time. Biner getting outside, tripped up and held on to just at the 15-yard line by Wes Hopkins. Just an outstanding open field tackle by Hopkins, and Biner with a loss of 1 to the 15.
If you're a football fan, you follow pro football, you feel good about Wes Hopkins. Here's Biner. Looks like he might go all the way to the outside, but here comes Wes Hopkins, number 48, takes him down. He was a Pro Bowl safety man 2 years ago. Suffered a real serious knee injury, had the reconstruction, was out almost all of last year. They didn't know if he could make it back. He's back, and he's playing very well.
Second and 11 from the 15. Webster Slaughter for the first touchdown of the ball game.
A beautiful fade. They try to jam Webster Slaughter at the line of scrimmage. He gets away from Eric Allen. He opens up a gap of 5 yards. Strock has the time, throws the fade pattern in there. Yesterday they were telling us at practice they didn't even know if Webster Slaughter was going to play. His shoulder's so bad, he didn't even practice yesterday. He's out on the field today. And you got to feel good for Don Strock. He didn't know if he'd ever had that feeling again when you get to be 38 years old.
Well, you got that right. Barr's extra point is blocked. So the score remains 9-3 Cleveland with 4:49 to go in the third.
The shape is distinctively advanced. The cockpit designed for comfortable travel over time and distance. Honda Prelude SI, a slightly ahead of its time machine. First, Gillette made shaving closer, then made it smoother. With Atra Plus, its Luber Smooth Strip glides the razor over your face for Gillette's smoothest shave. The Atra Plus system. First, we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
Read any good beer bottles lately? This one tells you that Miller Genuine Draft is the one beer that's cold filtered, not heat pasteurized. So we haven't changed the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer. And you know what's the best thing about reading this bottle? It leads to a very happy ending.
For every man who wears Brute deodorant, there's a woman who'll always be glad that he did. Because a man who wears Brute deodorant is nice to be close to. Brute, it smells like a man.
Great.
It is a game of power, speed, and beauty. The United States takes on the Argentines in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Watch number 96, Clyde Simmons, in the middle of the Philadelphia defensive line, block Barr's kick. He knocked number 64.
Frank Winters right on his back.
Winters down.
Frank Winters is a snapper. You know, while you're snapping, you can't defend yourself. They knocked him backwards. It opened the gap, and that let Simmons in there to make the block.
Sean Beals on the return for Philadelphia gets it out to about the 21 after taking the short kick at the 13. There's Kurt Schottenheimer. Now, he is Marty Schottenheimer's brother, and he's the special teams coach for the Browns. And earlier I mentioned how both teams were getting some heat because of the play of their special teams, and a lot of that heat in Cleveland is falling right there on Kurt Schottenheimer. And there they have an extra point block. So it's 9-3 Cleveland with 4:40 to go in the third quarter. And the dog pound comes into play again as Philadelphia is backed up. 1st and 10 at their own 22. Cunningham with a short drop, almost picked off. David Grayson, who's having a big day, almost took it away from Keith Byers, but it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 22.
Cunningham straight drop, wants to hit Byers with the quick out. They only want 4 or 5 yards here. Instead of trying to run the ball for it, they think they can pass for it. But Grayson, again, we mentioned his 4.4 speed on the outside is so quick. Here he comes right there with Byers. Got a hand on it, but really didn't have a shot to intercept it because it was tipped by Byers.
2nd down and 10. And the noise is getting deafening. Cunningham under pressure, gets away from Hairston, gets it away, and it's almost picked off again by Minifield. Minifield, who has picked off one, then another, but to have that one nullified by an interception, or rather interference, almost does it again.
Pump fake by Randall, but he hasn't got any time. Okay, Hairston comes, couldn't get him. Grayson gets picked off. Now he throws the ball upfield, but Minifield again makes a great play, recovers downfield, gets in front of the receiver, Chris Carter, knocks the ball away.
So it is
Cleveland's defensive front is just overrunning the Philadelphia offensive line.
Art Modell, the Cleveland owner, looking on. It is 3rd down and 10, still at the Philadelphia 22. Cunningham saying that he cannot hear and takes too long, so a flag flies for delay of game. The dog pound does it again.
Delay, offense, still 3rd down.
Steve Zabriskie and Will McDonough bringing you the NFL on CBS, and Cleveland Stadium sold out and noisy as usual. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Cleveland leading 9-3. It is now 3rd down and 15 yards to go, and Cunningham and company are even closer to the dog pound.
And they have to stay up under the ball because they normally he'd be in a shotgun, but he'd never hear the signals, so he has to move under center because of the noise.
Getting pressure again, but getting away, and he can run. Tripped up and knocked down at the 32, and Cunningham is very close to a 1st down. He ran right out of his shoe with a little help from a Cleveland defender. It's close enough for a measurement.
Here he's back the first time all day. He breaks containment. The Eagle offensive linemen take everybody to the outside. The Browns didn't leave the spy around, usually the guy they keep around to stuff Cunningham, to keep him in the backfield. I think he's going to come up here about a foot to a yard short. He gave it his best shot. He reached out. He did everything he could possibly do.
And it looks to be about 9 inches short of a 1st down. Will Hill stripped him of his shoe, and he fell short of the 1st down. So Philadelphia will have to punt it away, and on comes Telchik again. John, in his 3rd year out of the University of Texas, has been a busy guy, and he will again kick it off to Gerald McNeil, number 89. Low snap, but he gets it away and drives McNeil back about the 25. Not much room, and McNeil bumped out of bounds immediately. 3:55 left to play in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown.
Castrol, before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
On Halloween, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
One coach exalted in tradition, the other steeped in controversy. Joe Paterno leads Penn State against Bill Curry and Alabama next Saturday on CBS Sports.
It will now fall to the Philadelphia defense as the Cleveland defense did its job. 3:55 to go in the third quarter. And Don Strock and the Cleveland Browns back on offense with a 1st and 10 at their own 32 after a 44-yard punt by John Telcher. Cleveland leading 9-3. Kevin Mack straight ahead with his 235 pounds for a gain of 2 to the 34. Andre Waters, the strong safety, and linebacker Todd Bell on the stop. Cleveland owner Art Modell with the silver hair and the dark suit, very near us and very animated when Cleveland does anything well. And lately they've been doing quite a bit well. New England leading in that ball game, and Houston big over Pittsburgh. Very interesting day so far in the NFL. Mack again. Mack getting it out near the 39. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down. Seth Joyner on the tackle. Green Bay leading Minnesota 16-7 in the third. Dallas has lost Steve Pallor to a concussion. Danny White in that ball game and trailing 17-0.
And the Bears playing great defense again. #1 defensive team in the league so far this year. And it's amazing when you see that in the Bears, the two great linebackers, Otis Wilson and Wilbur Marshall, not playing. You just got to take your hat off to Mike Ditka. He's done another great job with that club.
3rd down and 3. A high snap and an inside handoff to Biner, who's dropped for a loss at the 35. Jerome Brown right there to knock him down. And good penetration again from Seth Joyner as well. So Cleveland unable to do anything this series. Will have to give the ball back. Max Runniger on to punt. Kurt Schottenheimer, the special teams coach, hoping for better things as he directs the troops. Mark Konechny back and almost blocked. Konechny back at the 15. A booming punt and no return is good coverage by Cleveland. Well, Kurt's company did a good job there. And again, they'll be backed up in the dog pound.
Recently, 12 new cars were chosen to compete for the Motor Trend Import Car of the Year award. When the results were in, the top 3 places were won by Honda. CRX SI, Civic, and Prelude. Who says it's lonely at the top?
On your path to success, reach for America's strongest financial helping hand, Citicorp and Citibank. More American families own their own homes and attend college with our help, and more get what they want with MasterCard and Visa cards from Citibank than from any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. Citicorp, Because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denorex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
This is not the time to learn that all antifreezes aren't the same. What's in your radiator?
Come on, answer.
The Eagles will have to operate in the shadow of the dog pound again, and Frank Minifield, number 31, one of the guys who really, along with Dixon, whips up that dog pound prior to the game. This was earlier. There's Hanford Dixon going over, slapping hands. He and Minifield have a routine where they high-five each other prior to the game in front of the dog pound to help get them whipped into shape. Well, they've had a lot to yell about today, and Philadelphia's been backed up in front of them most of the second half so far. 1:49 to go in the third. Byers takes the pitch, trying to find his way through and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Sam Clancy and Bob Golick pushing him back.
You know, if you're from Philadelphia or some other place other than Cleveland, maybe you're not too familiar with the dog pound. It's got its name in 1985 when Hanford Dixon first came here. One day he was on the field. He was trying to get his teammates going. He started barking at them like a dog. So the story got in the paper. The fans picked it up. Now they got this whole routine, top dog paraphernalia all around the city. And that's how they got the dog pound.
Dog masks, dog hats. And not only in the end zone, but all over the stadium they bring their dog paraphernalia. Second down and 10. Cunningham and a quick toss to Keith Jackson, complete to the 25. About 4 yards short of the first down. Mike Johnson grabs him up there. They move it out to the 26, where it'll be third down and 3. Keith Jackson, who played at Oklahoma, and as you mentioned earlier, Will, hardly caught any passes, turning into one of the finest tight ends. If he continues on his reception pace, he will shatter the rookie receiving record set by Earl Cooper of 83 catches back in 1980. Byers takes the inside handoff, fighting for yardage, but short of the first down. He stopped at the 30, the 27. David Grayson, number 56, again with a big play. It'll be fourth down, and the Eagles will have to punt it away again as time is running out here in the third quarter. That is the end of the third quarter with the score Cleveland 9 and Philadelphia 3. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
No one makes it to the top without earning their way. But the feeling that comes with doing your best makes it all worthwhile. Sometimes it takes more than hard work and dedication to reach your goals. It takes a little help. Society Bank understands that. Every day, Society helps thousands of people here in Ohio reach important goals. And that makes us all winners.
Take care of it, John.
Society Bank. Building a better bank around you.
Just between you and me, I don't think the folks here at Marathon are running on a full tank. See, the other guys are charging you tons of interest to use their credit cards. Marathon isn't charging you any. That's zero interest on major purchases. You just bring in any major credit card and you qualify for this quick credit application. Simple. With a Marathon credit card, you pay zero interest on major purchases and repairs. Personally, I'd come into Marathon and take these guys for a ride.
It all started with the telephone, but the phone was just the beginning, because at Ohio Bell, our technology is helping people transmit video, graphics, and data in ways you may not have dreamed possible. After all, we're not just in the phone business, we're in the communications business.
Hello?
Hey, this is R&D. Did you get the message?
I think so.
Ohio Bell, helping you communicate.
Dick Goddard, weeknights on News Center 8, proud to be your news.
CBS CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered draft beer, it's as real as it gets. Miller Brewing is the exclusive beer sponsor of today's telecast. The U.S. Army, where you get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And by Toyota, there's quality. Who could ask for anything more?
It is one noisy place to play, and even though it's outdoors, you would think that it was a Dome Stadium. This place is not taking a backseat to the Minneapolis Dome or the Houston Astrodome or the Pontiac Silverdome or the King Dome here. There's plenty of noise here as Telchik punts away again, and McNeil takes it at the 37 and is dropped back around the 30. They will give him his forward progress, and McNeil has been getting into it with just about anybody and everybody all day long. William Frizzell on the tackle there. So the first play of the fourth quarter is a 35-yard punt by Telchik. And the Browns have the ball back, leading 9-3. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 33. Well, next Saturday on CBS Sports, it's the best of Argentina versus the best of the United States in a America's Cadillac Polo Championship. Check your local listings for the time in your area next Saturday right here on CBS. And we'll go from dogs to horses. Miner straight ahead and across the 35 to the 36. Called down by Jerome Brown, number 99. The life of a running back. The face right in the dirt.
Well, Steve, you mentioned the crowd noise. This is how sophisticated they are in Cleveland. Now, don't forget, this is a traditional franchise that goes back 40 years. So they're smart. They know when to yell to hurt the opponent and when not to help the offense. Now, here's their team in front of the dog pound. There's not a whisper down there. They're going to give Strock and the Browns every opportunity to call the signals, to check off, to do everything they want to do.
They don't even wave towels or get excited at all. They just wait for something to happen, and something happens. Kevin Mack busts out for a first down to the 45, but a penalty marker is thrown at the line of scrimmage. Seth Joyner made the tackle on Mack, but we may have a holding call against Cleveland as the Browns are backing up.
It is going to be a holding. The flag went in there right away from the umpire.
Holding. 69 offense. Still second down.
So the call made against Dan Fike, the offensive guard, moves the ball back to the 27. It'll still be second down, but now 2nd and 17.
We were talking about the noise and dome stadiums, everything you mentioned. You know, in some domes, like in Seattle, they have a noise meter. See the decibel count. So I leaned over in the last break to Ernie Accorsi, the general manager of the Browns, in the next booth. I said, do you have one in this stadium? He said, yeah, the vein in Art Modell's neck.
Art can get excited himself, and has already today. 2nd down, 17. Strock looping one down the near sideline. Great catch. Slaughter with a reception at the 45 for a first down. Going up against the rookie Eric Allen, and coming down with the football, the injured Webster Slaughter.
People were questioning Slaughter last week when he dropped 4 passes against Seattle, but not here today, playing with a sore shoulder. He shows you his great athletic ability, leaps up, goes right over the defender, Eric Allen, takes down the pass. That's a big play. We might look back on that one because that penalty put them back in a hole where they had to throw, and they didn't want to throw. They want to keep this thing in the ground, run down the clock, get one more score, and get out of here.
It was 2nd and 17. Now it is 1st and 10 at the 45. Kevin Mack waits for the hole and then breaks it up for a gain of 4 to the 49 before number 92 Reggie White and number 74 Mike Pitts bring him down. Well, look at this. Phoenix leading Washington leading Phoenix, and that'll make the Philadelphia Eagles happy. On the CBS Sports Wire, it's the Giants leading Detroit 20-10 in the 3rd. New England all over Cincinnati, and the Cleveland Browns and their fans have to be watching that game as Cincinnati comes in today undefeated. Houston walloping the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Raiders leading Kansas City. Indianapolis coming back and leading Tampa Bay big, and Green Bay still leading Minnesota in the 3rd by 12. Again, it's Kevin Mack spinning to the outside. picking up a few yards into Philadelphia territory near the 48-yard line. Reichenbach and Joyner on the tackle. Chicago still shutting out Dallas. Steve Pellure went out. And New England leading Cincinnati now 20-14. Boomer Esiason has thrown 4 interceptions for Cincinnati, and they have committed 5 turnovers. But Boomer has come back with a 26-yard pass to Eddie Brown to make it 20-14 New England. So it's not over yet. Cincinnati tries to remain undefeated. Kevin Mack now with 90 yards rushing on 9 carries, his best game of the year. Struck from the shotgun on 3rd down and 3. Over the middle and complete. Langhorn, first down, bumped out of bounds around the 27 of Philadelphia by Kerry Hall, the free safety. Reggie Langhorn out of Little Elizabeth City State that has produced more than its share of NFL players.
And Don Strack is back. He's completely calmed down in the second half. He's playing under control. He's comfortable with what he does. Here he hits Langhorn coming across the middle. I questioned going into a shotgun with 3rd and 3 the way they've been throwing today. I said, uh-oh, they're going to give the time for the rush. Right there across the field. He told us yesterday, we hope to hit some crossing patterns and make plays if we had the time, and they had time. They made the play.
And they're doing it pretty consistently here in the second half. 1st and 10 from the 27. Kevin Mack again. But nowhere to go as Philadelphia jams up the middle right at the line of scrimmage. And Mack will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Jerome Brown, 99, one of the ones to meet him. Maybe a gain of a yard. So it'll be 2nd down and 9 near the 26. 11.5 minutes remaining in the game. And Cleveland with the football and the lead. Trying to hold on to both. Strock, the 4th quarterback of the year for the Cleveland Browns. Tim Manoa down to the 25 for another gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Reggie White, 92. Coming off the block, always on his feet, tough to knock on his. He hits Manoa head on, stops him right there. Cleveland's got to get something out of here, Steve. You know, they had the point after block. They missed the field goal before the half. If they don't come out of here with some points, they're going to be looking over the shoulder because it doesn't seem like it can hold Randall Cunningham without a touchdown the whole ballgame. Maybe it can. They've done it so far, but you don't want to gamble on that.
And there's plenty of time left. 10:25 to go in the ballgame. Drag fly. Strock looks long. Get out of the hands of Slaughter. He was well covered. Eric Allen was right there. But maybe this penalty will be against the Eagles. There seemed to be some movement prior to the snap, and that is the case. Offsides or encroachment against Philadelphia. Seth Joyner, number 59.
Offside, 96 defense. Still 3rd down.
Webster Slaughter was shaken up on that play and apparently had his hand banged up, and he's being attended on the near sideline.
Ball comes in there. Great coverage by Eric Allen. Now he holds his hand. Sometimes the ball comes in, jams your thumb back, pushes the finger back, and now the trainers are down there. They try to pop it back in place, and they'll probably tape it up and try to get him in the game.
Kevin Mack, nothing doing in the middle of that Philadelphia line. The Eagles defense has risen to the occasion here, and Todd Bell, 52, led the charge. We may have an Eagle shaken up as Jerome Brown is slow to get up. But that's a lot to get up at 290, and he looks like his hand is hurting.
He was another question mark before the game. So they say, hey, he hasn't practiced all week. You might see Mike Golick most of the game in place of Jerome Brown, but he's been out there. The Philadelphia defense has been great today. You couldn't ask him to do anything more. They're on the field all the time. Their offense hasn't done anything, but they're hanging in there.
Matt Barr is going to attempt a 37-yard field goal. He gets it up, and it's good. What could turn out to be a big 3 points, especially after the missed extra point. It's 12-3.
There's something new out there. For all of you, the truck for 89. The all-new Toyota 4x2 Extra Cab SR5. Now available V6 power. Real backseat space. And a new look that can only say one thing. Toyota quality.
Got it all now.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
Here comes tomorrow's front page. Sorry, gorgeous. Just making my editor happy. Table for two. Think we have a story. And what are we serving? Seagram's Extra with the extra splash of fruit. You are cool. That looks so refreshing. Stop, you're killing me. I'm taking the night off.
Refreshing new Seagram's Extra.
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Seagram's Coolers. This is where the fun starts.
Early in the ball game, the summary was penalties and defense. Now Don Strock has really risen to the occasion. 171 yards. The Browns had 131 yards rushing in the first half, and now the touchdown late early in this half, and the field goal has really broken the game open. If you can call 12-3 breaking it open, it could be with the way this game has gone.
Yeah, here's a touchdown pass early in the period when Don Strock throws out here to Webster Slaughter. Slaughter just left the field with an injured thumb. They took him to the locker room, but now we have to see what's going to become of Randall Cunningham. He was a star born Monday night. Is he going to be a star torn the following Sunday, which has happened to so many teams in this league? They have a great performance on a Monday night, and then they can't get it back-to-back the following Sunday.
Sean Beals takes the kick in the end zone, will not turn it out. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20. Let's go to Brent Musburger for an update on the NFL from New York.
Well, Stephen, Will, here's what's going on at the moment. Green Bay continuing to dominate and handle the Vikings. There's a safety. It makes it 21-7. The Giants have come back on the Lions, and now they are dominating them 23-10. Back to Stephen Will.
Thanks, Brent. It's 1st and 10 Philadelphia at their own 20-yard line. Buddy Ryan looking on. They need it right here with 9:20 to go in the ball game as Cunningham flips up the screen, and Eddie Johnson just levels Keith Myers. What a game the linebackers for Cleveland, as well as the secondary, has played today.
Well, the entire Cleveland defense has played with tremendous emotion. This crowd is pushing them, getting them on the edge. Eddie Johnson reads this thing all the way. You know, it was a good effort by the Philadelphia offensive line. They did it right. Cunningham did it right. See, it's set up. You don't know it's a screen, but there it develops. But here is Eddie Johnson. Read it all the way, sticks Byers with the tackle, sets him back 5 yards.
2nd down and 15. Play action. Cunningham getting it away. Overthrows Giles, intercepted. Frank Minifield picks off another one.
This is not the Randall Cunningham you saw Monday night. It's not the Randall Cunningham of 1988. This is more like 3 years ago. He gets the pressure. He backs off instead of eating the ball, and he says he'd rather eat it than throw an interception. Maybe with the desperation of the score the way he is, he still hangs it out there. He doesn't read the zone defense. He overthrows Keith Jackson coming across. Minifield sitting in the zone. An easy interception. Now Cleveland's to a point where they score here, they can put the game away.
They have a chance. 1st and 10 at the 32. The reverse. Reggie Langhorne. Run out of bounds by Eric Allen. After a gain of about 5. 8.5 minutes remaining.
We said earlier we thought the Browns at some point in time had to come with a reverse, especially the way Philadelphia's defense has been flying to the ball. They did, but to Philadelphia's credit, they didn't react the way they should have reacted. They played it well. They had the backside guys stay home. They get 7 or 8 yards, but they really don't get the big play out of it.
Still a gain of 6 and good first down yardage. It'll be 2nd down and 4 from the 26 of Philadelphia. Kevin Mack with a big hole. First down inside the 20. Tripped up by Andre Waters, the strong safety. And the Cleveland offensive line taking it to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia earlier had been controlling the line of scrimmage.
Straight power play, straight ahead. What a gap for Kevin Mack. Andre Waters comes up and simply dives at his knee. And if you're a safety man and you got Kevin Mack running at you in an open field, that's what you better do. Get out of the way.
Get low.
You don't want to take him on high.
Mack now near the 100-yard mark, as you see, on 12 carries. First down and 10 from the 19. Eagles really slammed the door. Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons, right there to meet Mack. Philadelphia's done a very good job defensively, especially against the run. But Cleveland has been able to find a way here in the second half. Has scored 6 points in the third quarter and the only touchdown of the game, and added a Matt Barr field goal here in the fourth to lead 12-3. Strock consults the play card on his wrist with his 2nd down and 10. Lots of time. Complete. Touchdown. Reggie Langhorne.
Here's Strock, play action fake to Mack, holds him up, straightens up, good time to throw. Here's Langhorne splitting the zone. Again, good timing. The whole second half, Strock has had timing, something he didn't have in the first half when he was trying to settle down and get into the game. You know, when Strock came here today, everybody says like a mission impossible for him to come out against this kind of a defensive team, not fall apart. Right now, it looks like a mission accomplished. They've done what they wanted, and he's done what they wanted him to do. Just get us this one game. Let us get Bernie back.
And now he has a 19-3 lead with 6:55 to go.
Mark and Brian of Rockin' LA. It's another hot one out there. 98, 12 degrees and no relief in sight. It's hot, hot, hot.
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold filtered one.
Man, sure go for one of these.
Because if you want a beer whose rich, smooth, draft taste hasn't been changed by pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Right. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. It's as real as beer gets.
We have a slightly revised forecast. It's go.
For 75 years, Liberty Mutual has shown companies like IBM, companies like General Mills, and thousands.
They are loving it in sold-out Cleveland Stadium. We hope you're enjoying the ball game. The NFL on CBS. Steve Zabriskie and Will McDonough with you. 19-3 Cleveland with 6:50 to go in the ball game. Sean Beals takes the kickoff from Matt Barr. He's not going to make it to the 10-yard line. Stephen Braggs hauls him down inside the 10. And the Cleveland Browns continue to put the pressure on Philadelphia. What a day for Don Strock. And I think, Will, you said it all when you said they thought it was mission impossible, but it may very well be mission accomplished. He has really had a fine second half after a tentative first half, and you could really expect it. He hadn't taken that many snaps.
Well, he stood up for his principles. See, he played 15 years with the Dolphins. They brought in Ron Jaworski last year. Don wanted more money this year than Jaworski. He said, listen, I've been here for 15 years. You owe me some loyalty. I got to make more than Jaworski. The Miami front office refused. So Strock said, let me go. They let him go. He held out for 2 or 3 weeks. Nobody picked him up in pro football. Then he got the opportunity here with the Browns, and he made out money-wise, too, because he signed for about $50,000 more than the Dolphins wanted to give him. So with that in mind today, the guy holding out, believing what he believed, that he should get more than Jaworski. Here he is, and he's getting the payoff both ways.
And he's doing a job that Cleveland desperately needs to have done. This is the year of the injured quarterback. Now we have a report that Mark Rypien of Washington has been injured in the fourth quarter of the Redskins game against Phoenix. We don't know how severe that injury is, but it seems this year as if they're dropping like flies. Maybe it's no more than usual. It just seems that way. And look at the total offense. Cleveland with 230 yards more than Philadelphia.
346 yards of offense is a lot of offense against a terrific defensive team. We have overlooked the Cleveland offensive line, but they obviously have done a great job.
Cunningham completes it to Byers, and Byers gets up to the 14 on first down. Now they're backed up against the enclosed end of the stadium. When it's baseball here in Cleveland, that would be the home plate area. But those stands are farther removed from the field, and they are not as noisy. Down over the middle, intended for Jimmy Giles, incomplete. Almost tipped away. Coverage by Hanford Dixon, and David Grayson came over and almost got a hand on it. So Giles, who was in there for Keith Jackson at tight end.
Well, we saw Webster Slaughter leave the field a little while ago, and the preliminary report is that he had a broken forearm. We thought it was his thumb, and he'll be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. That is really going to hurt Cleveland because he's their best receiver.
He had an injured shoulder to begin with. Cunningham on third down and 3 to Byers, who's hammered as he tries to hold on to the ball. Brian Washington separates him from the football, and it's fourth down Philadelphia again. Will Hill was blitzing and again got pressure on Cunningham.
What a hit. Brian Washington just lays it in there.
Cleveland has really taken it to the Eagles. So on 4th and 3, John Telchik on again, and Gerald McNeil back around his own 45. Telchik with a high hanging punt and a fair catch taken by McNeil at the Philadelphia 46. So Cleveland with the football and excellent field position, not to mention the lead.
Saturday on CBS.
Buddy Ryan, who can be truculent when things are going well, would not be the most congenial companion right now. And Marty Schottenheimer, who's been trying to hold things together for his club, has to be very happy with what Don Strock has meant to this football team today. They are in Philadelphia territory at the 46, and of their last 5 possessions, 3 of them have started in Eagles territory. So they're enjoying the field position as well as the lead. Kevin Mack busts it straight ahead for about a gain of 3. And now Cleveland will get serious about running those seconds off the clock. 5 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the game. Mack now over the 100-yard mark.
Last night we had a meeting with Buddy Ryan. He told us that he wasn't impressed with the Cleveland defensive backs. He thought they were good, but he thought that Philadelphia could throw the ball well on them. Well, they haven't been able to do it. Cunningham's only thrown for 97 yards here today. He didn't have anything like the game he had Monday night when he had 31 for 41 for 369. And those defensive backs, Minifield and Dixon in particular, have done a tremendous job in coverage.
On second down, Mack takes it, but slips as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Covered by number 74, Mike Pitts. The Patriots, incidentally, Will, your home team, by the way, as we look at Washington leading and the Giants still leading. New England with a 10-yard touchdown run to make it 27-14.
Well, there's scoreboard watching here today, Steve, and that's one of the games they're watching is Cincinnati because the Browns are in their division. Houston's in their division. This brings them a step closer. They can move in. I think Miami's record is safe. The undefeated season in 1972. Cincinnati's the last undefeated team.
On 3rd and 7, Ernest Byer breaks through for the first down to the 30. And boy, the third down plays here in the second half for Cleveland have made all the difference. They've had 3rd and long, but more often than not, they've been able to overcome it.
This draw play has been working all day long. This is the third time out of the shotgun. They're giving it to Biner. And 3 times he's gained more than 10 yards. And on the 4th time, called back by penalty, it was 18 for a touchdown. So that one play alone has gained 60 to 70 yards for him. Out of the shotgun, it had to be something they saw coming into the game that they thought they could execute, and they have.
They have exploited it well. 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Cleveland first and 10 from the 31. Biner again for a gain of about 4 down to the 27 before Mike Pitts makes the tackle. A reminder that coming up next, immediately following this game, the second half of our NFL doubleheader on CBS this afternoon, San Francisco and Los Angeles, the NFC West showdown. It's immediately following this game right here on CBS. Second down, 7 yards to go after the gain of 3 by Ernest Byers. And you see the clock running near the 3-minute mark as Cleveland continues to grind it out. Punches it inside the 25, and again Mike Pitts and help from Reggie White stop him there. Now we're down to about 2:45 as Langhorne brings in the play from Marty Schottenheimer, who is also the offensive coordinator, and Schottenheimer has taken heat here in Cleveland for doing both jobs. But perhaps the quarterback situations had more to do with what inability the offense has shown than has Schottenheimer wearing 2 hats. So a timeout on the field, stopping the clock with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game, and Strock to the sideline.
You know, the sidebar to this game is what's happening in the standings and how these teams are going to try to get to the playoffs. Cincinnati appears to be losing today. That would drop them 6-1. Cleveland appears to be winning this game. It's given 4-3, a 2-game gap. Houston looks like they're going to beat Pittsburgh. They could go to 5-2. They're playing Cincinnati next week. Okay, head-to-head. Cleveland plays next week and wins in the Central, right? Here they are. Cleveland wins next week. Top 2 teams are playing. They got to gain ground on somebody. And then they have Kozar coming back, hopefully, to get him into the stretch run. And the week after that, Cleveland's going to play Cincinnati. So in the next 2 weeks, Cincinnati got to play the top 2 teams. Now we look at the East.
And those, of course, are presuming that games end the way they are right now. Kevin Mack fumbles the football. But did he get it back? He was surrounded by 3 Eagles, and he was able to come up with it. Clyde Simmons, 96 right there. But Kevin Mack able to fall on the ball himself. It is a loss on the play and will bring up 4th down. And now Philadelphia calls another timeout. 2 minutes, 22 seconds remaining.
Number 2.
First mistake Kevin Mack's made all day. He runs into Biner. The ball pops out. But fortunately for him, he can push it away and bring him back underneath the pile.
Well, and look at Seth Joyner trying to get an arm in there to pull that ball away. All Joyner got for his trouble was Kevin Mack falling on his arm. Let's go back and look at the standings now in the divisions that have a bearing on this game. And this, of course, again presumes that those teams that are leading continue to lead or to lose the ball games, as the case may be. Now, Phoenix loses. The Giants win, and Washington wins by beating Phoenix. There'll be a 3-way tie, 4-3, and Philadelphia losing will go to 3-4. They're still not going to be out of it
and here's
by
what
any great measure.
They're not, because I'll tell you why. The Eagles leave here today. They go home for 3 straight games, and they're tough at home. So, you know, 3 weeks from now, with the way these teams are beating each other in the NFC, they could be on top.
Anything can happen, and there's lots of time left. 4th down and 6. Cleveland disdains the field goal and gives the ball to Biner. Jerome Brown makes the tackle. And Philadelphia will take over on downs inside their 25. 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. College football back on CBS next Saturday, and certainly what a great game yesterday on CBS coverage of college football. But next Saturday, it'll be the Penn State Nittany Lions taking on Alabama, and a Little revenge from last year when at Penn State, Alabama won 24-13. This year it's down in Bama. That's next Saturday at 2:30. Byers with a completion and Byers with a first down. Running hard and spinning for extra yardage up to the 40 before he's corralled there. And the clock will run down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be first down Philadelphia at their own 40 as 2 minutes remain in the ball game, and Cleveland leads it 19-3. Buddy Ryan trying to figure out what he can do. They're down by 16 points with just 2 minutes remaining in the game. They must score and score quickly to have any chance for an onside kick and a second score. Philadelphia with just one timeout remaining. Cleveland has two, as if they would use any. First and 10 from their own 40. Cunningham flipping it out to Byers. Incomplete as Byers tipped the ball and tried to corral it with one hand. Will Hill hauls him down. So the incompletion stops the clock with 1:54. Boomer Esiason has come back with a touchdown pass. It is now 27-21 New England with about 4 minutes remaining in that game. And Mark Rippon has apparently returned in the Washington game after being knocked out with an injury earlier. So apparently it's not a serious injury. Frank Minifield, who was picked off two officially, and another that was negated. Cunningham under pressure again. Can't get away. Finally corralled by Marlon Jones, number 95, as he had pressure from both sides. Michael Dean Perry coming from the backside to make the first hit. So Philadelphia goes without the huddle. The clock running with 1:45 remaining. Third down and 19. And Cunningham dropped again. And again, it's number 95, Marlon Jones. Cunningham in the grasp. No, but I don't know if he was in control. Cunningham thought he had gotten away from Jones, but the play was whistled dead back inside the 20.
Well, that's 9 sacks today for Cunningham, I believe, and he must think he's back in his rookie year when he took over 70 sacks. And Philadelphia 2 years ago gave up more sacks than anybody in the history of the National Football League. He hasn't seen pressure like this all year, and you got to give credit to the Cleveland defensive unit. They've been on them all day, and they've covered all day, and they've just had an outstanding game.
Even out of the shotgun. John Telchik the punt, Gerald McNeil back to the return, and a fair catch called for, and he has to run all the way across the field to take it at about the 36. 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining. A 45-yard punt with no return by Telchik. So the Browns will try to run it out, leading 19-3. And it's been a sad come down for Randall Cunningham, who had the game of his young career on Monday night, but has been knocked to the earth in more ways than one. Gary Danielson.
That's Mike Pagel.
Mike Pagel. And we have also Bernie Kosar. All three of them on the sidelines. Pagel just injured last week against Seattle. Mack has 100 yards and Philadelphia's managed only 70. Philadelphia also with 2 turnovers, the 2 interceptions by Minifield to go with the 9 sacks of Cunningham. So the defense of Cleveland, the big story, but you cannot overlook the job their offense has done either, particularly Will here in the second half as Strock found his stride.
Well, it's not only Strock finding his stride, it's the Cleveland offensive line did a sensational job today when you consider who they were playing against. Reggie White, the best in the game.
Jerome Brown.
A bunch of guys that can play football up against them. You know, Philadelphia knew that they had to try to run the ball, that they couldn't rely on Don Strock to carry them, and yet Cleveland got the job done. They ran the ball, and that's been the story of this ball game. Now they can go back in the locker room and try to find out if Cincinnati's going to make it all the way back against New England or not, and figure out what they have to do now to get back in the playoff race.
Well, neither team is out of it, even though Philadelphia is losing. Bernie Kosar with his back to you, talking to Danielson. And earlier, after a brief shot of Danielson, you also saw Mike Pagel. It's Don Strock, the fourth. And Strock just going to one knee again. The clock running with exactly a minute left in the ball game. Philadelphia has no timeouts remaining, so one more play for Cleveland ought to do it.
It will now with the clock the way it is this year, the 45 seconds. This is where it really helps you in the game. Instead of having the 30, you kill it. You get the extra 15 seconds with the rule change this year. So when he kneels down and this one stands up, the game's all over. You don't have to run another play.
That's it. Don Strock and the Cleveland offensive line, the Cleveland defense, particularly their secondaries and linebackers, have defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 19-3.
And there goes Don Strock. If you can see his left hand with our cameraman, he's got the ball. There it is right there. 38 years old. He's taking that one home. If they don't give him the game ball, he got his own game ball. If they don't give him one, we'll vote him one.
Well, it's been a great story for Cleveland as they have overcome, and Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, just came over and congratulated Don Strock. A big win for Cleveland in their quest to catch the Bengals. And the Bengals, of course, remember, even though they're coming back in that game, still losing. And Philadelphia, with Phoenix apparently losing to Washington, even though they lose, still in the race in the NFC East. The Dogs were barking loudly, and it was sold out in Cleveland Municipal Stadium as the Browns win it 19-3. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL on CBS. Stay tuned.